sermon. David just about knocked himself out with that sermon. Just was incredible. So thanks for staying here. My name is Mike Ludwig. I'm a member of our READI committee. That's READI, which stands for Racial Equity, Accessibility, Diversity, and Inclusion. How could I forget? And our chair, Claudia Marshall, is right here. Wave your hand, Claudia. If you'd like to know more about our READI committee, you can send an email to readi@bbuuc.org, and we'll get you connected with all the cool stuff that we're doing. So I am so happy today to be able to introduce you to somebody that I've had the pleasure of working with for a while now. Ms. Kelly Frazier is the president of the Northside Coalition of Jacksonville. She's a graduate of Florida A&M University and a member of the AKA sorority, which is one of the Divine Nine Black Greek letter organizations, which is focused on community service and Black community advancement. She's been an entrepreneur, a flight attendant, and enjoys being a member of a dance team. Now, when her father, Mr. Ben Frazier, who was a local civil rights activist that you may be aware of, he founded the Northside Coalition in 2017. He passed away in 2023, unfortunately. But then Kelly has taken up the mantle, as he would say, passed the baton from one generation to the next, as he would like to say. Since then, so she's taken over as president. And since then, she's been immersing herself in state and local issues related to racial justice. So much so that the mayor asked her to serve on the African American Advisory Committee. And she's currently serving as the secretary on that advisory committee. So today, Kelly's going to talk with us about racial justice in Jacksonville, focused on what the Northside Coalition of Jacksonville has done in the past, is doing now, and plans for the future, and see how we might be able to get involved with the organization. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for Kelly Frazier.
Good afternoon, and thank you, everyone. And yes, thank you, Mike, for that wonderful introduction. I wanted to add that my dance team is a dance team for women over 40. But yes, thank you. And thank you also for the opportunity to speak to you and tell you about my organization. Again, my name is Kelly Frazier, and I'm the president of the Northside Coalition of Jacksonville, where we show up and speak out against forms of social, racial, and economic injustices. Examples of some of the things that we show up and speak out about are against hate, police brutality, Confederate monuments, violence, the need for safety in our community, and how our tax dollars are being spent in the city, as well as proper infrastructure on the north side and many other different important issues. The Northside Coalition of Jacksonville, also known as NCOJ, was founded by my father, Benjamin Frazier, in 2016. In 2017, he got with several other concerned individuals, and they actually formulated the organization in 2017. So a lot of people know that as the actual start date. He was founded, my father was a fearless journalist, community leader, and civil rights activist who deeply believed in the power of everyday people doing extraordinary things. He stood on the front lines of justice, never afraid to speak truth to power, and he would often say that this is not a moment, but a movement. He called out politicians like DeSantis with his HB1 bill that aimed at stopping many from their rights of being able to peacefully protest and more. Because of that, he was invited to speak at the World of Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. You may have heard him on the news saying the words hogwash whenever he heard something that these elected officials were saying that was not in the best interest of our community. He was very successful in many ways, like with his involvement in changing the names of different Confederate school names as well as the removal of the Confederate monuments. His legacy lives on through the work that we're currently doing. As president, I have had the privilege of leading this organization through some powerful moments of action. We fought for police accountability and accurate history in our schools. We've rallied against voter suppression and spoken out on behalf of the voiceless at City Hall. We've marched, we've organized, and we've shown up when it mattered most. But we don't just protest like some think. We also provide. We host voter education forums, health fairs, we partner with other organizations, and take part in community conversations because that we believe that fight is not only in the streets, but also in these committee meetings where we get more information from the people and what matters most so we can take that information to our elected officials. The Northside Coalition of Jacksonville, again, as I told you, was founded in 2017. Our mission is to empower, educate, organize communities in an effort to establish greater self-sufficiency. As community advocates, it's also our mission to stand against racial, social, and economic injustices. Our primary objective is to make positive change in our communities, neighborhood by neighborhood and house by house. Our vision includes the provision of programs in civic and voter education, health, history, and business. Ultimately, we like to create positive change in our communities, but we do focus heavily in areas 32208 and 32209, as those are some of the most neglected areas when it comes to our city leadership. Some of the community programs that we offer is the Stop the Violence, Increase the Peace. This is something that we did in 2018, where we presented City Council with a 10-point plan for reducing gun violence in our city. We also have our Boots on the Ground program. This effort is to organize whether we are in neighborhoods, somewhere else in the city, or even outside of the city. We use this program to canvass our neighborhoods, going door to door, asking residents about what's important to them, and to let them know that we're here to advocate for them, and to get that information, as I mentioned earlier, to our elected officials. Through this program, we've taken caravans from Jacksonville to Tallahassee to address several different issues that we've continued to place, and we will continue to do that so we will continue to be heard. We also have voter registration education campaign, where we've registered thousands of people to vote, which has allowed them to vote for people that have their best interest in mind. NCOJ has made a huge effort not only to register people, but to educate people by passing out voter information such as locations of early and day of voting sites, the form of ID accepted to vote, helpful partnership information like something from the Florida Justice Center where they give information to returning citizens on their abilities to vote, and voter education forums, including partnerships with the Supervisor of Elections and other organizations. We've even had the Supervisor of Elections come out with their voter machines to allow people the opportunity to see them before they vote, especially those younger ones who've never actually been in to vote. We also have an annual health fair where we provide annual checks from professionals and medical students to our community that don't have regular access to doctors, and that's for several different reasons. We usually bring free food because they're living in areas that are considered food deserts. And for those that may have forgotten or not sure what the food desert is, there are areas with limited access to affordable, nutritious food, often found in low-income urban areas. And residents in these areas typically eat food from convenience stores, that's what's more close, as well as fast food restaurants. Again, they're not healthy options, which is why it's considered a food desert. We also have a program called There's Enough to Go Around. With this program, we provide essential personal hygiene items and self-care kits while also feeding our unhoused brothers and sisters. We provide items like socks, toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, washcloths, trash bags, some snacks, and then also dinner. Some of these dinners sometimes it's been pizza, but we like to make it a lot more nutritious, as we said that, that's been an issue. So we've had barbecue dinners, we've had baked dinners, we've had spaghetti dinners, and so many other more nutritious meals. Last but not least, we have our home ownership down payment assistance program, where we are in partnership with the Local Initiative Support Corporation, otherwise known as LISC. They require that recipients complete a mandatory financial literacy course, and at the end of that course, they're eligible for anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000. And we have assisted with over 8 families in becoming new homeowners. Some of our accomplishments and success, again, changing the names of 6 Confederate school namesakes. We've achieved moving symbols of hate, such as the monuments. We've successfully sued for redistricting. And we've facilitated the establishment of policies and standards for body cams that JSO uses. Now, we're still trying to find out how we can make that more effective, as we see that JSO only wants to let the information come out that they want to come out instead of all of the footage. I also have prepared a presentation for you, and it'll show you some of these things of where we were in action doing a lot of the things that I just mentioned here. Again, this is just giving you a little bit of information where the Northside Coalition of Jacksonville is a dynamic organization creating positive change in our community. And this is actually when my father passed and City Hall gave this award to him for the service that he did with the city. These are pictures when he actually went to Geneva, Switzerland. And that's inside the room. I thought that was very cool. I was able to go with him, and that was very big. Again, our mission statement: to empower, educate, and organize our communities in an effort to establish greater self-sufficiency. That's number 1. See, this is technology. We need to be careful about going further along with this technology. Nothing beats people. This is that Stop the Violence, Increase the Peace program that I was telling you about, where we also presented that 10-point plan to reduce gun violence to City Hall. Our Boots on the Ground program. This is one of the programs we had about truth about voting. This is one where it was a parade to the polls, where we actually had a band that led our march to the voting poll. This is our health fair, one of the flyers that we had, and at the bottom, that's one of the actual pictures where we had the food that we were handing out. And another one of our flyers here that lists some of the partners that partnered with us. This is our flyer with there's enough to go around, giving information about that particular program, the items that we packaged up, the barbecue that day when we did it, and these are some of the bags. And when we were asking, because we would also get volunteers to donate some of the items as well. Then this is the information on our down payment assistance program. And I've also included some actual pictures of some of the people that we've helped with their homes. We also have many other programs, such as the Juneteenth celebration, where we lit the bridge. DeSantis decided he only wanted to have an American summer. He didn't want to let anybody do anything differently, so we just wanted to show support for Juneteenth. Phone banking is an opportunity that we have, and these are some of the people that came to our last phone banking event. Let's see. Oh no, it doesn't give volume? Okay. Well, it doesn't look like we have volume. If it comes in, that's okay. But these are some volunteers that actually wanted to speak about their experience while they were phone banking. And they were pretty much just saying how they enjoyed it and how rewarding it was to actually speak to people, and how it's not something that was very difficult to do. It takes a little bit of time and actually getting it set up, especially if you don't want to use your telephone number. So we allow you to use Google Voice, because a lot of times people call you back and they say, hey, you called me. And you're like, oh, did I? But with Google Voice, it allows you to see that they're calling and why they're calling. So This is another volunteer also expressing her excitement. And I will tell you, while you can't hear her, what she ends with is, we need your help. We need your help. These are different ways that we, Northside Coalition of Jacksonville, can use your help, and that is with volunteering. We have phone banks where you can just simply, and once you get the training for the phone bank, you can actually do it from your own home. We just ask that you get the training in person because, like I said, sometimes it can take a bit much to set up and understand, but once you get that information, you can do it from your home. And canvassing, that's another thing. If you're interested in coming out to canvass, we'd appreciate you coming out to give that information to share to more people in our community, because the more people we have, the more people we can reach to get the message out. And that's my presentation. Are there any questions? Yes.
Yep. Oh, hang on just a quick second. So first of all, thank you so much, Kelly. Really appreciate everything you had to say. I wanted to put this last slide up there just so everybody can see it. If you want to get in touch with Northside Coalition, it's easy enough. That's the email, northsidecoalition@gmail.com. Phone number, feel free to give us a call. If you send an email to that email address and ask to be put on the list, then you can find out about our events and things that are going on with the coalition. And I'll come around with the microphone for the questions.
Okay.
Well, I just had a real easy one. When you say phone banking and canvassing, was that in support of like voter registration, getting people out to the polls?
Yes, it is in support of voter education and getting people out to the polls. Sometimes it also contains, this last one was issue mining, where we're actually asking people things that matter to them most.
Could you please clarify, did you say DeSantis did not allow you to light up the bridge for Juneteenth?
Correct. He did not allow us to light up the bridge for Juneteenth. It started, I believe, first we noticed it with the LGBT community, and it seemed like it was in efforts to stop them. And we loved their display when they actually lit up the bridge, so we decided to follow. He wanted to keep all the colors the same because he would change them from time to time. But then there came a point when he didn't want to allow that freedom of speech, so we decided to take it ourselves. Mm-hmm.
Are you doing anything about that fella that got hit by the police? I mean, is there anything that you can do about that? I mean, it's like ridiculous. So.
It is absolutely ridiculous, and I was actually at a rally yesterday speaking, trying to get Melissa Nelson to reopen the case, exactly, because that was assault. Those police officers, we saw it ourselves through the guy's camera, not necessarily through the police cam, but through the guy's camera, we saw where he was sucker punched, not once, but twice. That's assault. He was not doing anything, but in his car, he was pulled out of his car and he was assaulted. So yes, we are asking for Melissa Nelson to reopen the case because she closed it saying that there was nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. Melissa Nelson, yes.
Well, first, I'd like to thank you very much for coming out. You hit just about the time the deluge hit outside. So,
Right.
Well, I was born and raised in Jacksonville, and I remember a time when our city was really physically divided. I mean, you could draw a line down the middle, and it was completely segregated. Mm-hmm. That supposedly has gone away. But I think from looking at where we are today, it obviously has not gone away. There are places that you can point to that said, well, this is better. But I'm just wondering, why is this so difficult? You may not be able to answer this, but why is this so incredibly difficult? I look at sections of our city, and I just do not understand how it can be oppressed as much as it is. It just does not seem to make any sense as human beings that we could possibly be holding people down the way we are, the way we did back in the 50s and 60s. So again, there may not be an answer to this, but I'd just be curious to hear your response.
So I'm actually working on preparing a speech for that because I know it's going to come up because that's something that's been on my mind as well, because this is something that's gone on for years and years, and we've taken many steps forward, only to take many steps back. So that shows us that it is not gone. So I agree with you there. I think a lot of it has to do with just sometimes how we're brought up. It's not necessarily that they know it's a bad thing. When you're used to something, your ideas, you just stick to those ideas that you know and you hold on to them. So it's a matter of seeing something different and caring enough to want to understand what's going on. And a lot of people just don't care to understand.
And if I can just add too, Kelly in the North Side has advocated for infrastructure in the northwest of Jacksonville. And we continue to do that and invite you to also reach out to, if you're in Duval, in Jacksonville, to advocate for the North Side as well. There's so many resources that were promised with consolidation that never happened. And so we're trying to work on that. Well, you do because we're recording it, so we want to get your voice on the message.
What is happening with putting in a sewage system in the North Side? I ask that because I've been up there with foster kids, and when they go outside and play in the rain, they still have septic tanks. And down in Avondale, where I live, we get new roundabouts and landscaping, but there are no sewers, it seems, which is a horrible hazard.
Exactly. And again, that goes to that infrastructure that we've been working on. We've actually been working with JEA. Even Mike has been working with me to have those conversations where they are trying to make changes, and there are some things that they're doing to advocate for it, but it's a lot of politics. It's trying to come, but it's not something that is going to happen all at one time. They're taking sections of the city at a time, sections of the North Side at a time. It's something that they are working on, but we're pushing to make it go a lot faster. And Mike, with you being in those conversations, is there anything that you would like to add to that answer?
Yeah, so one of the challenges is even if there is some money for the septic tanks to be replaced, the thing is once that's done, then the residents will now have a water bill that they did not have before. So they're kind of rolling the dice. Is my septic system going to last? Or is it going to fail and it's going to cost me thousands of dollars, or do I switch? So we're trying to figure out ways to encourage people to, to get those septic systems swapped out, and then see what we can do after that to help them with the new bills that they're going to have.
And that's why, again, we're working with JEA so we can try to get people at those meetings where they're educating people about the differences. So it's coming, just slow.
So just wanted to say that we are your partners. I know we haven't worked together, but, we're very interested. Also, I think the reason why this is just hard for people to change. This is some of these traditions, like you were talking about, they're just kind of set in stone, and it's just familiar, and folks are just not wanting to let go of this, and it's because we need to be protecting everybody. If we leave any person out, all people are left out.
Exactly.
And I forgive you for FAMU.
You must be BCC.
I am.
Or BCU.
Okay. And I am your soror too. So, we're looking forward to working with you and, in future events and things like that also.
Thank you. And I'll add to that, because I've even been thinking just personally. I remember having a conversation with a friend that I was talking to, and she was telling me, well, this, and the other, and can you believe this? And I'm like, yeah. And then when I thought about it, I was like, well, no, you were wrong. But it took me a while because of how she was engaging me in the conversation that I was just following along with it. And you have some people that will just follow along with things even though they know it's not right. So again, it's that tradition. Sometimes it's just pride. And so it's a matter of getting beyond that and, just like you said, getting to what's right and fair for all.
Now that they've redistricted, so Jimmy Peluso, about this, that he got one committee, and it was not a good committee necessarily for making change. And I'm just horrified at that. Anybody who goes up against the Republican majority, it just got left out. So,
yes, we're in a situation right now where if you're not on one side of the fence, you're not really heard. So what I would encourage when things like this happen, or in this particular time, is not to do nothing, is to show up even more. That's when we need the crowds of people to come out and speak out, because one or two people is not gonna do it. We need the whole community to come and speak out and say that this is wrong, we're watching you, we put you in place, and we will take you out when the next opportunity comes.
And the Northside Coalition did issue a press release also on that exact issue with Mr. Peluso.
I would be curious to have your opinion on whether or not we should consider deconsolidating.
Now that one is a little bit beyond me. I'm not ready for that one.
Well, I look at communities like the greater Atlanta area, and it has multiple communities. And a lot of those communities, well, they all stand on their own, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to me that maybe we are in a situation where we have just gotten too big for our own britches. And maybe it's time to put a movement in place to deconsolidate this mess.
And so I love how you're thinking, and that is exactly what I'm encouraging. People like you to come out and give those opinions, because I'm sure that you are not the only one that has that thought. And if we can get more people together that bring ideas, such as the one that you just had, and come up with ideas on how to make it happen, we are not powerless. We are not powerless. The more people, the better and the louder our voices are heard. We just need people to actually be involved, to actually stand up whenever they see situations like this and speak out.
I am not from Jacksonville, but as I understand the history of consolidation was when it looked like there was going to be a black majority on Jacksonville City Council is when they decided, hey, maybe we need to put a stop to that, and consolidation is a way to do that. Is that? That was part of it. There's one thing that's something maybe to think about when they're doing the charter commission that's coming up, is currently there's 5 at-large seats. To remove those at-large seats, which are all typically held by conservatives because it's a county-wide seat, if we went to district only, that might allow for better representation. So maybe something to keep in mind as we go forward.
Yeah, also making sure that we get people in office. I haven't been in my position very long, but I am really surprised at the influence and the recommendations that I can give in my short time of being here. So what I encourage others is to not doubt yourself. Don't think that there's anything that you can't do. All you have to do is put your mind to it and show up, figure it out, be in place. People will see you, but we need people to run. We need people to run. And sometimes what holds people back is thinking that they don't have the ability or the knowledge to do so. But the information is out there. And one thing that I had to think about, although I'm not thinking of running right now, is that we have very young people that are actually in places that get elected. We have very young people. So if they can do it, we can do it. Don't doubt yourself. Let's find these people that can actually get in place and actually speak up for us and not get there and just hold a seat and not do anything.
I don't have anything profound to say. I just want to appreciate you for the attitude that you're bringing at a time when many of us feel not only discouraged but undermined by the philosophies that led to lights coming off on the bridge and that kind of thing, Juneteenth not really being observed and that kind of thing, that I completely applaud all the sense of purpose that in your father's legacy you continue to bring. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I would be remiss if we didn't mention that one way that you can help the Northside Coalition is you can go to the website, NorthsideCoalitionofJacksonville.com. There's a nice little donate button. You saw all the programs and things that we do. If you were able to donate some money to help the things that we do at the Northside Coalition, we would really, really appreciate it.
Yes, I don't know how I forgot to mention that. especially in this day and age where funding is being cut more than ever. We were already having a hard time making things happen, and even now our program, There's Enough to Go Around, is on hold because of the funds. So yes, we need your volunteer, we need your time, and definitely your, what was it? What money? Yes, that's it. That right there. Yes.
All right, one more time. Let's please give a round of applause for Ms. Kelly Frazier. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you.
And stay tuned for more things from READI in the future. And thanks again for being here to be a part of this. So thanks again and have a great week.